You know, every once in a while in the crypto world, you stumble across something that makes you stop scrolling, lean back and think, wait, did I just find the one? That's exactly the feeling I had when I started digging into this project we're going to talk about today. Not because it was plastered all over social media, not because some influencer was shouting about it in all caps, but because the deeper I looked, the more the puzzle pieces started to fit, and those pieces point to something that could realistically pull off a 100x run by 2025. I'm not talking about another meme coin that's here today and gone tomorrow. I'm talking about a crypto with real technology, a real mission, and a set of fundamentals that almost nobody is paying attention to right now. By the end of this, you're going to see why I believe this is one of those rare hidden gems worth watching closely, and exactly how I found it before the rest of the crowd. How hidden gems hide in plain sight. One thing I've learned over years of watching this market is that the best opportunities almost never scream for your attention. They don't start trending on Twitter. They don't have the loudest Telegram groups, and they don't promise overnight riches in flashing neon letters. Instead, they're quietly building. They're solving problems most people haven't even realized exist yet. And by the time the average investor catches on, early believers are already sitting on huge gains. Think back to Polygon in early 2020. It was a small, relatively unknown project trying to solve Ethereum's scaling problem. The big headlines weren't talking about it. Most people ignored it, but it had real tech, a strong team, and a clear mission. When the crowd finally arrived in 2021, it had already multiplied in value dozens of times. That's the pattern I look for, and that's exactly what I see here. The problem this project solves. Every great crypto that survives long-term has one thing in common. It solves a problem that actually matters. This hidden gem is tackling one of the biggest challenges in blockchain right now: cross-chain data and liquidity fragmentation. Right now, the crypto world is like a city with dozens of neighborhoods that don't talk to each other. Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, they're all great, but they're isolated. If you've ever tried to move assets between blockchains, you know it's a headache. You need multiple wallets, you pay high fees, and you rely on bridges that are often slow or insecure. This project is building a universal layer that lets blockchains communicate natively, share data instantly, and transfer assets seamlessly without the clunky middlemen that currently slow everything down. Think of it as the internet service provider for the blockchain world. Just like the internet wouldn't work if every website was on a completely separate network, crypto can't truly reach mass adoption until everything talks to each other. That's the core problem this project is solving, and if they nail it, it's a trillion-dollar opportunity. The team behind it. Now, great ideas are cheap. Execution is everything. That's why I always dig into the team before I even think about investing. Here's where things get interesting. The people building this hidden gem aren't random newcomers chasing hype. They're blockchain veterans who've worked at Cosmos, Chainlink, and Polkadot, three of the biggest names in interoperability and decentralized infrastructure. Not only that, but they've also brought in top-tier engineers from Google Cloud and Amazon Web Services, people who have real-world experience building massive, secure systems that millions of people use every day. They're not just anonymous coders hiding behind cartoon avatars. They've put their names, faces, and reputations on the line. And in crypto, that's a big sign of confidence. The technology that makes it work. All right, let's talk tech, but in plain English. At the heart of this project is something called trustless interoperability. What that means is, you can send a token from Ethereum to Solana instantly without trusting a middleman. You can run a smart contract that pulls data from multiple blockchains at once. You can move liquidity across chains without paying huge fees or waiting hours. Most current solutions use wrapped tokens or centralized custodians, both of which have big security risks. This project uses a decentralized validator network that verifies transactions across multiple chains in real time. The result? Transfers that are just as secure as staying on one chain, but with the freedom to move anywhere. If that sounds like a small improvement, it's not. It's a game changer. Because right now, billions of dollars are locked in isolated ecosystems, just waiting for a way to move safely and efficiently. Early partnerships. This is one of the biggest green flags I've seen. Even though it's still early, the project has already partnered with 2 major DeFi protocols and 1 NFT marketplace that operate across multiple chains. These aren't just handshake agreements. They've already started integrating the technology to make cross-chain trading and NFT transfers seamless. When those features go live, millions of users on those platforms will be interacting with this project, many without even realizing it. That's the beauty of infrastructure plays like this. The end user might not care what's under the hood, but the value still flows to the project providing the tech. Community and growth. If you've watched crypto long enough, you know the community is the engine that drives adoption. This Hidden Gems community is small right now, which is exactly what you want at this stage. I joined their Discord and Telegram to see what's really going on. Instead of endless "when moon" spam, people were talking about actual development updates, testing new features, and suggesting improvements. That's a sign you have builders and believers, not just speculators looking for a quick flip. The growth rate is also promising. Their Twitter following has quietly doubled in the last 6 months without any major marketing push. That tells me the word is spreading organically, the best kind of growth. Tokenomics that actually makes sense. All right, let's get into the numbers. The total supply is capped at 500 million tokens, no hidden "we might print more later" clauses. Right now, about 40% is in circulation, with the rest locked for team incentives, ecosystem rewards, and strategic partnerships. Here's the important part. The team's tokens are locked for 3 years, with gradual vesting after that. That means they have a real incentive to make this succeed long-term, not just pump it and dump it. On top of that, a portion of every transaction fee on the network is used to buy back and burn tokens, gradually reducing supply over time. That's a model we've seen work incredibly well for coins like BNB. Why 2025 could be the breakout year? You might be wondering, if this is so great, why hasn't it already exploded? The answer is simple: they're still building the core network. But here's what's on the roadmap. Mainnet launch in late 2024. Integration with at least 10 major blockchains within the first 6 months. Launch of developer grants to attract more projects to build on top of their network. If they hit those milestones by early 2025, they could be the go-to solution for cross-chain transactions. And when adoption spikes, token demand follows fast. Risk versus reward. No investment is without risk, especially in crypto. The biggest risk here is competition. Projects like Cosmos, Polkadot, and Layer Zero are all trying to solve similar problems. But here's the thing, the blockchain space isn't a winner-takes-all market. Just like there are multiple cloud providers today, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, there's room for several winners in interoperability. And this project's unique approach to security could give it a strong edge. Why this could 100x? Let's run some quick, simple numbers. Right now, the market cap is around $75 million. If they capture even a small slice of the cross-chain market, say, $7.5 billion in value, that's a 100x jump. And that's without even factoring in token burns or increased adoption from partnerships. Real example of the pattern. This setup reminds me a lot of Chainlink in 2018. Back then, LINK was a tiny project solving the Oracle problem, a niche issue most people didn't understand. But as DeFi exploded, everyone suddenly needed secure oracles, and Link's value skyrocketed. We're in the same position here. Most retail investors aren't thinking about cross-chain interoperability yet, but when the need becomes obvious, the project that's already built and proven itself will be the one that wins. My personal game plan. Here's exactly how I'm approaching this. I'm not betting the farm. I'm starting with a position I'm comfortable holding for at least 2 to 3 years, knowing the big payoff might not come until 2025. I'll add more if I see the team hitting milestones, partnerships expanding, and adoption growing. Patience is key here. If you're looking for a coin to double in a week, this isn't it. But if you're aiming for that rare, life-changing gain, these are the setups you wait for. The crypto market is full of noise. Every day there's a new, next big thing flashing across your feed. But most of them fade as quickly as they appear. The projects that last, the ones that change portfolios and even lives, are the ones quietly solving big problems. With strong teams, smart tokenomics, and real adoption potential. This hidden gem checks every box for me. Will it 100x by 2025? Nobody can promise that. But based on what I've seen, it's one of the most compelling risk-reward plays in the market right now. And if you've ever wished you could go back in time and buy into a great project before the crowd, well, you might just be looking at your second chance. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more breakdowns of under-the-radar cryptos with huge potential, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The best opportunities don't wait around, and I'll be here to help you spot them before they go mainstream. Now tell me, if you had to bet on one hidden gem today, what would it be? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's see who calls the next big winner.